to study about heat. So firstly, I would like to discuss the definition of the heat. Heat is a form of energy that transfers from the higher temperature to lower temperature. As in my definition, I used a word that is temperature. Now what is temperature? So temperature is the degree of hotness or coldness. Temperature is the degree of hotness or coldness. Temperature is the degree of hotness or coldness. Its SI unit is Kelvin. Now what is SI unit? SI means standard unit. The standard unit of temperature is Kelvin. The standard unit of temperature is Kelvin. Now I tell in my definition that the heat transfer from the higher temperature to lower temperature. Now what does it mean? Suppose you have a glass which temperature is, this is a glass and it is full of water. Its temperature is 37 degrees Celsius. And its surrounding temperature is 40 degrees Celsius. After some time, you will observe that the glass temperature is increased and it will become hot. Why it is done? It is done because the surroundings heat transferred to this glass. That's why its temperature is increased. Why the temperature is increased? Because the surrounding provides heat to the glass. That's why its temperature is increased. Now, as I told you that its temperature is 37 degrees Celsius and the surrounding temperature is 40 degrees Celsius. How I know that the temperature is this? For this, we use a reliable device that is known as thermometer. What it is known as? Thermometer. What it is known as? Thermometer. Yes, thermometer. With the help of this device, we measure the temperature of an object or our surrounding. Thermometer has two scales to measure the temperature of anything. This device is used for that. For example, you want to measure a temperature of a body of a human being who has fever. How you can measure it? You just simply take the thermometer and put it in her mouth. After some time, you can observe that the temperature of her body is there in the thermometer. Now, how we know? Because in thermometer, for example, this is the structure of thermometer. At the end of this, there is a bulb which contains the thermometric fluid. Now, what is thermometric fluid? The thermometric fluid is the fluid which performs expansion by getting a little bit heat. For example, mercury. For example, mercury. If we give heat to the mercury, only little bit heat. If you hold the bulb with your hand, then you will see the temperature or the mercury perform expansion. Now, here a question arises that what is expansion? Now, does anybody know that what is expansion? No, ma'am. Okay, I will tell you. Expansion. When we give heat to an object, it performs expansion. Means it try to expand its surface area. So, like mercury also, here mercury is a thermometric fluid which is stored here. If we give heat to it, it also performs expansion. It cannot expand like this. It has to expand in this tube which is known as capillary tube. What it is known as? Capillary tube. What it is known as? Capillary tube. And here readings are there. Here the mercury is stopped. Then you can see there the temperature. What you can see there? Temperature. Do you know, students, what is the common temperature in Celsius of a human being? That is 37 degrees Celsius. What it is? 37 degrees Celsius. And in Fahrenheit, 98.6 Fahrenheit. What is in Fahrenheit? 98.6 Fahrenheit. Now, there are two types of thermometer. First one is clinical thermometer and second one is laboratory thermometer. Firstly, I would like to define clinical thermometer. As you know from its name that the thermometer used in clinics are known as clinical thermometer. In clinical thermometer, there in capillary tube, for example, this is a clinical thermometer. In this, the capillary tube has a vent like this, and which is known as king. What it is known as? King. What it is known as? King. And why it is there? What is the function maybe because of the surrounding temperature, the mercury goes down. So to stop this thing, there is a king which stop the mercury, and we can measure its temperature. What can measure it? Temperature. Now I would like to define laboratory thermometer. In laboratory thermometer, there is no king. For example, this is a laboratory thermometer and there is no king in this. Now the question arises here that there is no king, then how we can measure its temperature? In this also, because of the surrounding temperature, the mercury can go down. But in that, we have to measure the temperature like this. For example, this is our substance. This is a bowl in which there is a substance. We have to measure its temperature. Then we just put the thermometer like this. We will just simply put the thermometer in it and we can measure its temperature easily. But we can't have to take out it. We have to measure the temperature by keeping this thermometer inside the bowl. That's why there is no king present in it. And one more difference between the clinical thermometer and the laboratory thermometer is that the human body's temperature can go down only till 34 degrees Celsius and can increase till 43 degrees Celsius. That's why its reading is between 34 degrees Celsius and 43 degrees Celsius. The clinical thermometer reading is between 34 degrees Celsius and 43 degrees Celsius. But in lab, maybe many substances are there whose temperature are more than 43 degrees Celsius and less than 34 degrees Celsius. For example, nitrogen. Now, how we can measure their temperature? That's why the laboratory thermometer have their reading 10 degrees Celsius to 100 degrees Celsius to 100 degrees Celsius. So that we can measure the temperature of each and every substance easily. This was all about my chapter. I hope you all understand.